Hey guys, it's Brandon again. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I lost $1 million and how you can do the same thing. But before I get into that video, I'm going to ask you guys to do me this one favor. I'm coming out with a podcast. The podcast is called The Proud Misogynist. It is going to be one of the greatest podcasts created by men. So go into my description and subscribe to that channel. There's no content posted yet, but go and subscribe so once that launches, you'll be amongst the first to see this video. Also, I'm currently in talks with a TV station to air this podcast on their network. So once the negotiations go through, I will be announcing who that TV station will be with. Also, if you want to make a guaranteed 20 to 25% return on your money, reach out to me and I'll help you do that. Now, so let's jump right into it. Now, my stock market journey started in 2008. It was at the very bottom of the market. I was a college student. I was about 17, 18 years old, and I was just now venturing into the stock market. Now, I came in at a time when the market was bad, when America was on the brink of falling apart. And I didn't know much. I just heard a lot of the white kids on campus talking about stocks, and I just Googled how to open a brokerage account, and I did it, and I bought my first shares. So I came right around the time when Obama became president and they started pumping all this money into the market. So I experienced a bull run for damn near 10 years of my life. And I thought I was smart. Now, during a bull run, everyone thinks they're smart. A dog with a stick in its mouth can make money during a bull run because the government is just pumping the market. So I was riding that wave up. I thought I was doing well and my investments are going well. And I made $1 million. And I thought I was the stuff. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was there, not saying that I was cocky. Nobody even knew. But internally, I thought I arrived and I knew everything. Then I experienced my first market correction. The $1 million I made, I watched it go from $1 million in value all the way down to $275,000. I never experienced a market crash. I never experienced a market correction. The stock I bought, that went from, was it $8 to $26, went all the way down to $1.50. And I was mad. I was upset. I was mad at God. I was mad at myself. I was just really, really mad. And that's when my thirst for knowledge started. That's when I started studying history and the greats like the Warren Buffetts and the Grahams and the JP Morgan, and really started understanding what this market was about. But back then, I just panicked and I sold. Had I known better, I would have held on. But I learned from that mistake. So a few months later, I ventured back into the market. I learned different strategies. Other than just buying and selling, I learned tons of different strategies. And a year later, I was a millionaire again. But guess what happened? 2020 happened. Boom. Market crashed. Now, at that time, I've never seen that before, right? What I experienced was bad, but now we're talking about the economy on a global scale. I thought it was the end of the world. And then this time, I didn't panic sell. I learned from my previous mistake and I waited. And then, because I waited and studying the economy, studying certain things, studying history, again, because every crisis presented an opportunity, and that opportunity was for me to learn. And one thing I learned is do not make drastic decisions during an emotionally bad time. Just wait. So I started studying. And what I studied and what I gathered from my studies was this. Every 100 years, we have a global health ailment, right? Every 10 years, we're going to have a recession. Every 2 years, we have a market correction. And every 4 years, we have a panic. So I just waited. And I was like, so 1918, people survived this, right? The polio ailment, people survived. So I was like, it's the same thing that's just happening over and over during history. And I waited. So what I started doing, I started calling the stock, and then boom. The government pumped the market, the recession ended, the shortest recession we ever had in history, and the NASDAQ returned 45% that year, right, to close out 2020. So I was like, oh my God, I made millions of dollars during that time. So then, right, and I made an old video about this coming correction. You can check that video out if you don't believe me. Because one thing I noticed from my historical studies is that anytime the government pumps a lot of money in the market, we are going to go through a period of pain. Now, this period of pain is different from all the others because nobody living have ever experienced all four in such a short period of time. It's either an ailment, a correction, a recession, or a panic. We're experiencing all four right now. But then you look at what's going on. Same thing happened in the 80s. The booming market. The booming stock market, the booming employment market, the Cold War, right? The only thing they didn't go through was an ailment, but the high recession, the high inflation, same thing that is happening now. So Paul Volcker had to Volcker the market, create a recession, boom, and everything. And then we entered another period of growth for a few years. So now I know that's cyclical. I waited. So the same thing happened. Boom, the money fell off a cliff again. But I just waited. I waited because during my studies, what did I learn? Is that every bear market have a thing that is called a bear market rally. And you just have to wait for that rally. It happened during the Great Depression. It happened during 1962, during the 1980s, during 2008. And we had our bear market rally, and we're about to have another one again, right? So what I did, I just stayed calm. I said, okay, we see what the government is doing. We see that they need to clean out the money supply. So I just waited. So the strategies that I learned was start calling the stock. I had 100,000 shares in a specific company. I was calling at about 86 to 0.88 cents every week. So I was making, call it $88,000 a week. So in premium, I made about $352,000 in 4 weeks because I kept calling the stock. Now the stock went up $14, a little bit over its original value, and then I sold. So when I sold plus the premium, that was that was 1.5 million plus the 352,000. That was $1.852 million. $1,852,000 that I recovered. So made an extra 300 plus another 100,000. Whole value became $1.85 million within 4 weeks. So this is what an educational knowledge is for. This is why I teach people not to panic. History repeats itself. And all we're in is a repetitive time. So yes, these things are going to happen and it's going to continually happen. But this is how you wait out a market. And this is how you do not make brass decisions in a tough time. You do not get rich doing that. Times of panic, times of crisis comes the greatest opportunity. These are times where you learn. These are times you seek knowledge because the next bull run is coming. And because so much money supply is being sucked out of the system, you see how strong the US dollar is becoming. It is causing other countries to go bankrupt right now. The US is literally on steroids. The banking system is incredibly strong. The housing market is incredibly strong. The employment is ridiculously strong. And yes, you may see stuff bounce there and there, and they may put out whatever news to scare and all, but over time, the market is undefeatable. This is the easiest place to get rich if you have the stomach for it. It is very tough. It is gonna drive you crazy, but patience is the key. Patience. Patience during a bad time, patience during a good time, and understanding what you are investing in. So that's how I lost $1 million, and that's how I made it back, and you could do the same. So again, guys, I'm going to ask you to like, share, and subscribe to this content. People who have been following me over the years doing exactly what I've said, they're all balling today. So my track record speaks for itself. Like, share, subscribe, and let's get this channel to over 600 subscribers. Thank you for your support, guys. Take care.